About a year and a half ago, we were traveling in the Middle East. As you can imagine, we ate a lot of falafels. When we got to Bethlehem, we went for lunch at a place called Aftim. It's across the street from the Church of the Nativity in Manger Square. They made the absolute best falafels I've ever tasted. After lunch, I went up to the counter to see if they would share their recipe. After quite a bit of convincing, we finally got them to at least share the ingredients. And they were making them right there at the front door, so we got to see how they cooked them and what they look like. I've been experimenting with those ingredients, and I've come up with something pretty close to the original. If you're ever in Bethlehem, be sure and stop by Aftim for lunch. The first thing you need to do is soak the garbanzo beans or chickpeas. The thing that's different about this recipe is that you soak them for 24 hours and you don't cook them before you make the falafels. I soaked 2 cups of dried garbanzo beans and I changed the water 4 to 5 times. Now, if you have a really warm kitchen, I would suggest that you soak them in the refrigerator. In addition to the garbanzo beans, you're going to need 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, 4 tablespoons of olive oil, a teaspoon of rosemary, a half a cup of chopped onions, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 4 cloves of garlic that have been pressed, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, salt and pepper to taste, 1 cup of chopped parsley, and you may need some water, maybe 2 to 4 tablespoons. You're also going to need a food processor, safflower oil for deep frying, a sieve and a bowl for draining the falafels, and either a wok or a large frying pan plus tongs, and a spoon for measuring out the falafels. The first thing you need to do is grind up the garbanzo beans. Just put them in your food processor. And then grind them until they're the consistency of cornmeal. Add everything else except the baking powder and water and pulse till it's all mixed in. Check it to see how well it sticks together. This is actually pretty good. At this point, add the baking powder. And then pulse that to mix it in. You'll need enough oil to cover the falafels, so that you'll need about 1 inch deep of oil in your wok, your skillet, or even a big pot. So pour in that oil, turn up your heat to medium-high, and let it warm up. Now that the oil's all heated up, we're going to make falafels. If you happen to have a form or a mold for falafels, by all means use that. But if you don't have one, I'm just going to use a large soup spoon. Take a large scoop, kind of form it into a patty. Now, at Aftim, they always put a thumbprint in it, and we think that's to help it cook a little more uniformly. Now it's very hot, so gently lower that into the hot oil. You're going to cook it on one side at a time, only turn it once. Okay, this one is looking very golden brown. Just going to flip that over. And when it's done, just put it over here and let it drain. They're best eaten right now when they're hot. Most people put them in pita bread with tahini, tomatoes, lettuce, and cucumbers. You can eat them on their own too, but if you want to keep them for later, let them cool, put them in freezer bags or airtight containers and put them in the freezer.